I also want to mention, this is something I was wondering, and maybe this could actually be a fault of Gehenna. Agnes hasn't played anything else coming into Stage 2. He's only played Sage, so it could also just be discomfort, on other agents. We'll have to see.
Yeah, just not as common. All right, well, getting spotted immediately, smoking up the center here with Astra's Nebula.
Yeah, I mean, for Gehenna with the Nebulas, they can actually kind of dictate the pace a little bit.
Yeah, look at this, hiding inside that smoke in the mid. Felix in the back of mid there, kind of waiting. Hyperreal pops out, takes the shot, misses.
Is going to have to back out as Nebula ends, of course, countered by a dark cover coming out from GOMA Gaming as well. I mean, I like Gehenna really preventing any sort of aggression. I think they're a little scared, right? Because it's like, all right, who the heck picks attack on Ascent, right? If you have the choice. So they wanted to make sure that middle was not completely given up, and so far they're successful.
Well, look at this. It looked like a rotation towards A, but then they picked up the spike and are sending just Sky and Sova over towards B. They made a little bit of noise over there. And now we do have that full rotation, but Astra actually coming back to the back of B.
Yeah, well, they're trying to make noise with Omen on the side of A, but what they don't know is Killjoy has full utility set up for A site, right? Preferring to pick up all the utilities she can rather than upgrading her pistols, and they're not going to be baited by it just yet. They do enter B. Supply trying to clear the way, does clear the back of site, so they should get the plant down.
Selig waiting here near the door for anyone to try to break through. Does get gunned down by Bangman.
All right, and now Gehenna looking for the retake. If they can clear that out, it does result in a trade, but it's still a 3-on-2 in favor of Gehenna.
Yeah, it looks like a little gravity well going down as Bangman jumps down and gets gunned down.
1v1, only 19 health for Supply, though.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to hold. Oh, God!
Hyperreal! Oh, my goodness.
Hyperreal gets it. 3 kills on the round. And they're going to pick up the first pistol round. All right.
That was a little scary at the end, but, you know, they come out with the win. Of course, using that gravity well to make sure that they're fully in Boathouse before they clear at the back. And, you know, only one player left, but gonna still get the win. So, I mean, that's a plus in their book. And now they've kind of tested the waters a little bit with what GOMA has planned, which so far hasn't been anything crazy, but it was only the pistol round.
It's the pistol round, so I guess maybe we shouldn't read too much into it, but kind of interesting watching some of these plays, like you mentioned, right? Hyperreal utilizing that gravity well to push everyone back. Stay in the boathouse. We're going to come clear you there, okay? We don't want you behind the box. We don't want any surprises.
Yeah, just stay where everyone goes so we know exactly where you are. I mean, Astra's really good with that. She can play the map in so many different ways as the Trailblazer gets gunned down by Decide. So GOMA Gaming knowing that, you know, there are some people in the site.
Yeah, I think they're fine anyways, right? It's a full save from them. They did not buy one nice gun at all. They're going up against Spectres. It's going to be very tough for them to get anything done. Well, actually, I guess Selig did.
Oh, man.
But dies immediately, so whatever.
That could have worked. I mean, I think they were trying to bait them out with the ultimate orb as well, but good patience coming out from Gehenna. And they check the corner after the blind. Pick up 1 kill. However, things look a little different as Gehenna actually just cleans out across the whole map.
Yeah, pretty easy round for them there. GOMA not really able to get anything done. But it was a super saver round, right?
Yeah. I mean, no big surprise there. Now, this is kind of the bonus for Gehenna where, you know, they're going SMGs up against rifles, but GOMA is kind of in a position where they really want to win. And that is a gentleman worm right there.
A gentleman worm?
Oh, on the screen, it was on the side post. He had like a top hat and a
okay. Yeah.
Oh, you were
I was actually looking at the guns.
Oh, you were actually trying to cast the game. Okay, that was your first mistake.
I want to see the gentleman worm. You let me know when he's back.
All right, Gehenna. Now, the Sage was kind of the big question for us. It has been spotted, so just going to use the wall. Gets gunned down pretty quickly with the rifles.
Yeah, and a little blind coming in right now. Gehenna, actually, I mean, they've got some great defense there. Over here towards A main, we do have the one-way smoke from Astra. Gonna go ahead, throw in that Nano Swarm.
Yeah, and now with confirming, you know, most likely Astra being on A, the way she set up that smoke, and then confirming that Sage was on B, but you already took care of the wall, you might want to strike onto B. You got rid of the alarm bot, clear it out middle, and here comes the entry into B side.
Yeah, gonna go ahead, throw that Paranoia out, and here we go. Cloudburst forward, shutting the door. Nanoswarm into the back of B. They're gonna start to come in. Felix waiting. Beautiful play there, picking off 2.
That does not feel good for Gehenna. They rushed right into that trap. They did not think that he would already be through the site. A bit of a timing mistake in calculation, and Hyperreal all alone. Perhaps just trying to see if he can get some pickoffs here. I mean, you know, the SMG is still pretty worth it. I don't think it's worth jumping into your death 1v4 here.
No, no. Hyperreal isn't going to be able to get anything done. It's like a complete waste, I think, if he charges in there. There's really not much of a reason.
Does he go all the way around? Oh, look at this. GOMA Gaming also being kind of smart enough to say, all right, probably not going to be wise to back out the way that he thinks we're going to come. So they're actually going to clear out defender spawn, be safe there. And on opposite sides of the map, Hyperreal will save his gun as well.
All right, well, saves the Spectre, not the biggest deal, but may as well. Has that full shields also.
So GOMA Gaming now getting that win on the rifle round, and now we should see rifles against rifles in this round 4. Now Felix already being set up here. I mean, so quick through the site, and Gehenna just not calculating that accurately enough.
I feel like this is something that we see, especially in the losers matches, is there like the team that wins the loser matches has someone in a funny position and just catches people, right?
I mean, hey, if you know your opponents are kind of going to make some mistakes, you might as well take advantage of it, right? And be in a place that's unexpected. Good gravity well, however, the turret is going to make him double guess himself as Bangnan actually comes in and gets 2 on the trade.
Yeah, look at that. The Boombot getting its value right there.
So GOMA has to just hang back a little bit. There's the Sage Wall on B as well.
Yeah, looking for Sage standing on that.
You always got to check.
Right, Owl coming up, getting shot down in that mid-market. And they're going to go ahead and grab the spike. Let's see what they want to do with it. Where are they actually going to go? Nez gets a nice pick there on Bangman. Peeking a little bit too far, perhaps. Yeah, looks like they are going towards A.
Yeah, that gives them the signal that they probably have a better chance on A. I mean, you know that there's a lot of setup here over on B with the Killjoy. Closes the door, trying to make sure he doesn't come through, but this side still gets through with the guiding light. And it's just a bloodbath that it goes down to a 1v1. Selig's going to get the plant.
Selig versus Moves. Moves has no kit left. Full on that health, though. Let's see what he can do here against a Jet.
Oh, Moves is looking the entire wrong direction.
Yeah.
Selig gets the pick and puts another one on the board for GOMA Gaming.
Huh. That was kind of funny. Like, he was checking the back there, but it had just been planted. That would have been a very quick rotation, huh?
Yeah, I think he was just...
You would have heard the footsteps if they went that quick, right?
Yeah, I think he was so set in his ways that that's usually where you would hide. If you're planting on the outside of that generator, you're going to just hang back in the wall, wait for someone to drop down. But Selig was quicker than he thought, was really prepared to kind of cover the whole site, and of course knew that Decide had to be coming through from, or Moves had to be coming through from heaven. So that's going to go in favor of GOMA Gaming as, all right, they're now going to try to strike through B as quickly as possible with the lockdown.
Yeah, with that lockdown coming down, they should be able to get in pretty darn quickly. Of course, there's no Sova on the other side, so Hunter's Fury cannot knock that out for them. All right, throwing their smokes in, getting ready to infiltrate. A lot of shooting going through, and actually they do lose Hyperreal right away.
Yeah, Pods gets a kill through. Selig actually peeks through, and oh my gosh, is going to Tailwind away to make sure he can turn on Decide as well. This is looking like a solid round for GOMA Gaming.
Picking up the slack right now.
Well, I mean, GOMA Gaming still has a lot left, right? Using the lockdown like that, they still have from the shadows if they want to do anything tricky. They still have the Hunter's Fury. Selig, of course, can rely on that Blade Storm if the economy ever gets in a rough spot or wants to op on attack. So things are looking pretty strong. Gehenna now has a bunch of ultimates stacked together.
Yeah.
If they wanted to counter some of these. Now, you don't want to have to spend all of them in one round. So we'll see if Gehenna gets a little proactive with their ultimates. Right now, it looks like they're stacking 3 on B.
Well, I mean, they've lost 3 in a row now after those pistol round wins, right? So it's a little bit rough. I want to see them use something.
All
right, and Guiding Light out as they push forward. A very aggressive play here as the defenders, and unfortunately, Bangnan gets picked off there by Nez.
Oh, and the crossfire comes in. GOMA Gaming perfectly timed to pincer them from 2 different angles. And now they're safely into A side as well. Moves all alone. Half armor and a Vandal. I mean, I think at this point you might want to consider just saving that in a safe manner.
I'm feeling super good. Does get picked off from Supply after the single kill upon Pods.
Still pretty rough, though. I mean, GOMA Gaming, I think, now just has a read on Gehenna. And I mean, playing that far back on B, right? And they were prepared for that push. I mean, they read Gehenna like a book. Of course, they also heard the boombot. I think the boombot almost kind of gave more room for GOMA Gaming. They were like, all right, let's just ignore B completely because we know something's coming through there. And of course, getting that first pick helps a lot. GOMA Gaming now up 4-2 against Gehenna.
I have to be a little bit critical of Gehenna. Like, I understand some of these aggressive pushes when you have like a save round like what they have right now with Sheriffs, but when you have your rifles and you're running through B main, it's like, we're trying to get lucky right now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bit of a gamble. I think they knew that the ult orb had been prioritized a couple times, especially for that lockdown, but the lockdown was just used, so maybe banking on the fact that, okay, they might try to stack that up again for another aggressive push. At the end of the day, though, kind of a gamble that turns sour against them, and GOMA Gaming being prepared. Now Supply just peeking around that wall, trying to confirm Agnes isn't there.
Time to knock that wall down, I guess. The turret here.
Smart turret
Nebula up.
Well. Okay. I think they really just want the ult orb, though. They
might, yeah. Like, look at this. Just standing right inside that smoke. Get blinded immediately as the smoke goes away.
They did not have the timing on their own Nebula. Sella getting caught a little bit on the wall, but it is going to be okay as the site is empty for the time being. Closes the door. Now, this draws everyone over from A, but GOMA Gaming, or from B, but GOMA Gaming is actually still committed to A as well.
That Pods actually takes down Bangnan there from the mid.
Oh, the res comes down from Gehenna. The res on a pistol round with the Sheriffs, I don't know. I mean, they picked up 1 Vandal, but is that really going to be worth it? They do have the numbers advantage, 5-4. Oh, they're using the Astra Wall as well. This is a lot of commitment if they can't get this retake.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal right there. Selig gets a couple kills, fantastically done. But Felix coming in and cleaning house.
Yeah, I mean, that was just waiting for them to come in one by one like little ants, and GOMA Gaming mows them down. Gehenna, I do not know how I feel about that. Using some of the most impactful ultimates in the game on a round where you started with 5 Sheriffs, you only got 1 Vandal away from the enemy team, and you're going in for a retake without much utility? I don't know if the value really stands there.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Like, I understand you don't want to leave your ults for too long because then you're losing potential for utilizing them again, but I mean, to use them and then just nothing happens with it? It's like, I'm not sure what that Cosmic Divide was doing. Were you trying to make them think you're coming in through A main? Like, is that...
Yeah, it was a weird placement, too. You're right. It's not blocking any audio from heaven. It really didn't serve much of a purpose. Now, the Trailblazer is going to see Selig in this round. So Gehenna knows that Selig's prepared. Should know about the Blade Storm as well, of course, having been pulled out at the start of the round. Gehenna's still trying to push out a little bit. Okay, not getting too aggressive. Didn't work out last time. Would have
little
repeated
aggro there for a moment. Looks like we do have the Owl drone going in towards A. They have a lot of setup there, and throwing up a couple smokes as well as a Paranoia.
Yeah, trying to time that to bait them into A once again. But, you know, you're not getting caught by the turret. You're not getting caught in the Nebula. So Gehenna's still pretty well prepared. Does use the Seekers, actually, just to confirm, and that gets mowed down. Gehenna once again using an ultimate that doesn't really result in any strong advantage. GOMA Gaming still able to make it through. They're planting the spike in B.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-on-4 right now. They definitely have an interesting position. They're coming in from the main as well. Oh, Felix does get shot down there. Supply waiting inside of the smoke.
Oh, he's just waiting for someone to peek in.
Yeah, Nez coming from that flank as well. It's going to make this very hard for them to clear. And look at that. Supply does gun one down, but it's a trade as Hyperreal takes it down.
Yeah, but Nez is still there for backup, and he's able to finish the round in favor of GOMA Gaming. They are just cleaning house after the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and you know, those pistol rounds, like we always say, it doesn't necessarily mean all that much, especially in the very first part. And they haven't won since. It's getting rough, man. Like, we're seeing some Garbo guns come out. A Stinger, I haven't seen that since it got nerfed, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're picking that Stinger up, you have to also just play, you know, a little bit more defensive, right? Make sure you get those close angles. But so far, Gehenna, they just seem a little trigger happy, right? They're not able to wait as patiently. They're using their ultimates in kind of a rushed way. Hyperreal once again. Oh, Selig, I
That's
like that.
That's kind of funny.
Trying to
triple
bait them
cloud
in.
burst.
Yeah, usually you see more than one come in and you're like, all right, she's going to tailwind in. But doesn't hear any movement, so actually decides to back out. Selig says, all right, they're being extra patient on B. Let's go A. Now, GOMA is all stacked in A main.
Well, they are really checking everything right now. Throwing down that Nebula. Closing the door as they come in. Seekers come out. Nez has a nice angle and does take down Agnes.
Really good use of the Seekers there, of course, giving a bit of an advantage on that peak. The Gravity Well did buy some time, but the Seekers were able to counter that timing, so no big advantage for Gehenna. Decide and moves in the dark cover.
Look at where Supply's waiting here. Like, this is a tricky spot. You don't necessarily expect someone to be standing right here.
Oh, he gets one. The other one's in the Nebula. He doesn't know. She walks out.
Oh!
He almost gets all 3, but he ends up with 2 kills on the board. Nez gets gunned down as well. Decide making it through the Nebula. A huge difference, but not going to have the leisure to try to defuse this spike. Is going to have to run away. Is tagged by the Aldrin. It's a hunt.
Oh, and Felix catches him
man.
at the pass. I tell you. Decide was lucky for a little bit there. I think there is a sky-shaped bullet pattern on the wall up there in heaven.
I mean, making it through the Nebula and barely getting enough time before the turnaround is saving his life, but the owl drone, I mean, that's pure Silva lore right there. The hunter with the owl just tracks his last mission down. He's able to get the kill. GOMA Gaming is just dominating this first half on attack, and I mean, we're seeing they're confident on attack, and they're playing these ways even if the baits aren't always working. They clearly have some set plays ready for attack on a set.
Oh, absolutely.
That slower of doing work. Not able to get the quick peek there against Agnes. So Agnes finally putting some value on the board as the Sage. The wall just to buy some time to retreat. Meanwhile, on A, GOMA Gaming is still waiting patiently. The spike is left behind, so they're just trying to get some information here.
Selig getting picked off, so you know, it's a little bit rough for them right now. We'll see if finally we can actually get Gehenna another round other than those pistol rounds.
Yeah, they really need it. If they end up like 10-2 on defense on Ascent, that is not a good look.
And honestly, you look at GOMA's lineup, and it's not like it's a lineup that can't play defense well. Right? They have a Killjoy and everything. It's not like they only have entry fraggers to just win this round. They're going to be just as prepared on the defense as they are on the offense.
Yeah, they'll be well prepared. The Silva, the Killjoy. I mean, you have the Sky to check around the corners on A. Moves now, waiting for the alarm bot to pop. There are 2 people from GOMA in mid. Meanwhile, lockdown set up for B. So trying to split. Oh, trying to get them out into the market.
Oh, and Felix may be shooting a little bit too quickly there. And gets gunned down as he tries to back out. It was a great idea. It almost forced him out into the gunfire, but it looks like Gehenna deals with it reasonably well.
But Nez is still patient. He's still playing that lurk role really well in case someone else comes through middle from A. That's not going to happen. All 5 members of Gehenna now on the side of B. 2 around market. Supply gets 1. Nez goes down, though.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad. He was really important there. And Supply getting another couple kills there, going up to 3, still gunning. Hyperreal trying to come around the corner, gets gunned down by Supply. 4 kills this round.
Wow.
My God, and GOMA just can't lose.
I mean, that is a huge round for Supply. The lockdown to set everything up, going in, getting the spike plant, and then 4 kills on the board as Killjoy. I mean, you are opening things up for your team as GOMA Gaming leads 8-2. And I mean, again, they have some really good set plays, right? Using that lockdown, shoving everyone out, waiting for them to potentially exit from market. You know, Felix gets picked off, but the idea was there. They still win the round, and Gehenna right now just doesn't have an answer.
They really don't. I mean, when you get the initial pick onto Selig and then still it goes that poorly, and I mean, they got the free Felix kill as well in the mid.
Yeah,
so
that's true. They had a huge numbers advantage. I mean, they had all 5 members on the retake, and they just weren't able to really utilize anything to get in. Now, they aren't really a great composition for retakes, right? You don't have any blinds. You have the Astra. Now, I think that's where they're lacking a little bit. Hyperreal seems very passive with his Astra play. He's not using any aggressive gravity wells, aggressive nebulas on these retakes, and it's costing them if GOMA's allowed to plant every single time.
They're going to have to do a bit better than that. Selig gets gunned down again here. Good play with the Sheriff there from Bangnan. Just sits in that mid-market. Throws out those paint shells, but really, it's all over at A right now. Supply gunning down Hyperreal as he comes in.
Well, Pods does get spotted. He should still be able to get this spike down.
Supply immediately coming through here, laying down that turret.
Oh, they're not so sure yet.
Ooh.
Oh no. This is going all south for GOMA Gaming as they lose both members in the site. Now it's all down to Nez. Spike down in the site, so Gehenna has to win this. Oh, nice shot,
Nice
Moves.
moves. Look at that.
Well,
Get
finally.
that thrifty victory. Well, if they were going to get another victory, it was going to be thrifty because they've been on nothing but pistols the whole time, man.
Yeah, I mean, anytime they bought rifles, it went sour, and they were back down in the dumps for their economy. Now, with the last round, at least they're able to come back with their rifles off of that win. They have the lockdown and the Cosmic Divide. So, really, Gehenna has all the tools. Now, there's an aggressive lockdown from Supply ready as well. You have to imagine they're going to utilize this, and so far it's done very well on B.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should be trying to utilize everything here. And honestly, we see Felix, he has his Hunter's Fury up, so I think Moves is not going to get too much usage out of that, but maybe that's something you throw down early because of that.
Yeah, I mean, rather than being, lasered in with the Hunter's Fury, you might as well use your own lockdown to kind of bait that out.
So that lockdown is being used by GOMA as they try to infiltrate into B. Agnes just shooting through everything there. They throw the Nanostorm, pushes him back. I love the play.
Oh, Gehenna. They were so scared this time off of that lockdown on the rotates. They're now just waiting. Now, I think their plan is to utilize the Cosmic Divide and the lockdown. But as you mentioned, Artosis, the Hunter's Fury is still ready.
Yeah, he is just waiting right now. Okay, there's that lockdown.
It's a very deep Cosmic Divide just against Boathouse.
Yeah.
Pods gets one, Pods gets two.
Some superior gunplay going on as well. Selig pops out of the smoke and gets one, but does fall to Moves. Pods taking down Hyperreal.
And there it is. GOMA Gaming finished the half 9-3 as Felix steps out of the Cosmic Divide. I mean, this is just some one-sided play
Dude,
here in the first half.
It's really one-sided, and we should point out it's 9-3, but when 2 of your wins are the pistol round and the round after, it's not really 9-3.
It's
it's 9-1 is what it is. Because that's just like, the pistol round is very volatile for all the teams.
I think that's really fair, and it's not like they didn't have opportunities, but the couple chances Gehenna had, they kind of threw down the drain on their own, right? Using those ultimates on a Sheriff round, just trying to get back into the game. I mean, not much value coming back. You really have to start to think about, even with ultimates, even if you're not buying them with creds, you want to have high impact with them because they're so valuable. If you're not prioritizing those orbs, they're not going to come very soon. And if you're losing, you're not getting a lot of kills either. So I want to see a little bit more calculated play from Gehenna. Meanwhile, GOMA, good set plays on attack. We'll see what they have on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be good there as well, to be honest. A lot of times teams have an easier time on that defense, so it was kind of interesting to see that switch up on the first 2 maps on who was actually going to attack first. Both teams choosing to attack first, in fact, when they had that opportunity.
Yeah, not something we get to see very often. And honestly, I think just some more aggressive play, right? Not being afraid to strike into these sites is something good for the Korean meta, right? Everyone's so used to playing very slowly just because the top teams play that way.
Yeah.
You need to shake things up a little bit, especially if you want to counter them. I mean, if you were trying to play against the top teams, but you're playing their own game, you're already playing on your back foot.
All right, Gehenna, let's see what you're made of here. Sage actually with the spike going towards mid, kind of interesting. They do have that smoke down, so it seems okay. Hyperreal roaming over here, and
he's gonna get hunted down by the Trailblazer.
Finish him off with the frenzy there from Selig.
And then Selig gonna be gunned down as all of Gehenna comes through a lane.
Oh, sick shooting from Felix. Takes down 2 before Decide, gets the revenge. That's right around the corner. Gonna get a couple kills right there and finish them off.
My goodness. I mean, Gehenna, you had tree cleared. All you had to do is have one person check garden on that window a little bit, but you're getting caught out by these corners, and now they're, they start on another loss in the second half. 10-3 now advantage for GOMA Gaming.
Well, it's especially bad when you really think about the fact that it's like the pistol round, normally you take the next. So we actually see them going ahead and spending here. We see sheriffs, we see frenzies being purchased. They, I guess they feel like they have to fight as hard as they can every single round now.
I mean, this is super risky investment as Supply for GOMA Gaming picks up 1 kill. Gehenna once again in a numbers disadvantage.
Gets the ping there onto Sage. Sage does have to run and jump away. Selig here trying to peek out around the corner. Gets a kill. Gets another one. I mean, Gehenna is just being butchered in this series.
Yep, and Moose is going to spot that alarm bot, but not able to pick up another kill as Supply guns down both remaining members. GOMA Gaming with yet another win, 11-3 score advantage.
I tell you, watching this, it feels like GOMA is just a much stronger team than Gehenna.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to go around that.
Yeah, the only player that seems to be holding his own against them is Moves. Like, I'm seeing this Killjoy make some good moves, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Sometimes players really take on after their names, Artos. Yeah. It's very important.
Well, we've definitely seen that out of Agnes.
Well, GOMA Gaming holding defense again. Now, Supply with a Killjoy set up in mid. He's all alone, though.
Oh, he's got his turret. Don't worry.
Oh, man. Okay, the Nano Swarm just to hold them back, but someone needs to come cover. There's Felix trying to set up a crossfire.
Look at that. Uses the concuss, and ooh, will end up picking him off.
Moves, though, turned away too early. That gives enough time for Nez to come around and get a pick. So Gehenna kind of stuck now in mid. They've created their own prison.
Agnes going down there, not healing himself. Bangman in the market, pods around that corner.
Oh my gosh. Gehenna put up the wall, but the spike is outside of it.
Hyperreal with some really quick shooting there. Taking down Nez. Bangman trying to find his way out of market. They do not have the spike. It's behind the ice wall, which is kind of funny.
Oh
man. Pods gets one. Hyperreal. It's a one-on-one now. Hyperreal versus Selig. Oh, Selig coming in from behind. That's going to make it a tough one. And down he goes. 12-3 game point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see this going any other way, Artosis. Gehenna, the couple things they... you can kind of see rather what they're thinking, right? They're trying to strike that mid that time. They get sight of the Killjoy, so they say, all right, she's alone. They get slowed down by the Nano Swarm, but they still had good crossfire, but turning away before you confirm the kill, it's just these individual mistakes that are really starting to weigh down any sort of set plays they have, and now playing for their, life here in this first map.
Yeah, it's they're not long for this map, that's for sure. See what they get done. Selig here, sitting over on the catwalk, trying to find anyone with that op.
I mean, you have such an advantage right now in weapons. You might as well try to get some easy picks. On the side of Gehenna, Hyperreal even opting for that Ares as their economy, of course, in shambles. It's all over the place. This could be the last round. So now they're going to rotate all the way to A, but here's the problem. They haven't really made any noise anywhere. And so GOMA Gaming doesn't really have to react to anything. Now you start seeing the stars pop up, so GOMA Gaming gets a clue. You see 2 people rotating over to A.
All right, they are going to try to push in here, have some smokes. Can't even hit the recon ball. Just so rough. Out comes the Gamer Dog, gets shot down there. Supply and Felix cleaning house. Hyperreal, the last one left for his team. Sitting here with his Ares.
Oh my gosh. This is all but over
As long as he only needs 10 bullets per opponent, he can still do this, man.
You know what? Ares in a dream. I'm with you. Give hope to all the people that keep buying Ares every round here in Korea. So
I know! People don't get it.
Yeah, they're like, well, if the Odin's the best gun, the Ares is the second best gun. I'll just buy it every round. Ooh.
And down he goes. Selig finishes him off the Blade Storm. The intro music especially reminds me of Hotline Miami.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's like getting me pumped up. I'm
All
like,
right.
yeah!
And then we just watch the calm landscape.
Yeah. Very different than the music. All right, Gehenna going to go in immediately. They get blinded. Selig here waiting with that Sheriff. Does get the headshot onto Bangman, but gets picked off by Decide.
And the spike was left behind, though. So, oh my gosh. Nez.
Dude, Omens always love coming down C-Long. I don't know what it's about C-Long that just, it's such a common thing that we see.
Omens on C-Long for Haven, and of course B on Split, right? You always push to the garage.
Yeah. So true.
Now, Nez didn't go too far, so he didn't spot Agnes. That would have been really bad for Gehenna. The Trailblazers are going to go all the way through. Doesn't spot Nez, I don't think. They're going to know now with the dark cover. Gehenna's still committed with the spike here on C-Long, though.
Usually is shooting in a little bit. Doesn't get the hits, but has a good idea of where they are.
Oh, they're still waiting. They got the guiding light.
The slow orb comes out. Ducks here behind the plat. All right, out goes the Paranoia.
Oh, Gehenna's kind of stuck in a rough spot here. They didn't get the plant down yet.
Oh, no, they didn't. Felix gets the pickoff on Agnes, who had that spike. Hyperreal coming up from behind. Nez comes out for the fight, but gets out-dueled.
Eventually, Supply picks up the kill, and Gehenna, I mean, hesitating a bit. They got the slow orb. They had the Astra set up the one-way smoke afterwards, and didn't rush in because of the Paranoia. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think you have your teammate cover for you. Gehenna starting off once again with a loss. Now, it is just a pistol round, but it's more about what we're seeing from their play, right? They're hesitating, they're double-guessing themselves, and now they have to start with another save, right? Most likely, I would not recommend upgrading anything at this point. It's still early on in the map.
I would agree with you there. Hyperreal, though, needs that Ares, man. 100%. No armor, just the Ares. That is an interesting choice. I don't think I've ever seen that after a lost pistol round.
I don't know what the plan is there. I mean, if you had some interesting setup, maybe, but just going to hold mid. I guess they want to strike B, so I can kind of see the Ares there, right? You want to clear out the walls a little bit.
Plant B long type of situation there. Oh my god, and just destroying Supply is there with those nano swarms.
Luz gets hunted down as well. Hyperreal also by Selig. I mean, Selig is mowing them down as they enter, and now with that commitment, the Ares, Hyperreal, really kind of looking for money. Look at this. I mean, the rest of your team now has rifles. You're going to go for the Ares again. I mean, you know what? If you feel that comfortable, who am I to say anything? But so far, it's not working out.
Some people, especially in Korea, love the machine guns, man.
They really do.
It really is true. People love the Ares and the Odin out here.
It's huge.
It really, yeah. Like, I think people might think we're joking about that. We joke about a lot, but not that. That's serious.
Well, Gehenna playing things a little slower. Oh, pops out with the guiding light. Not able to secure the kill.
Felix takes a ton of damage. In fact, does end up dying there. Oh, my God. Bangman blowing up Nez.
Oh, he didn't get the teleport across the wall. Selig now rotating all the way through. Is going to force him out a window.
Oof. Down goes Supply as well. It looks like Gehenna should be able to take this. I mean, if Pods and Selig can clear this alone, 2 versus 5, there's a real problem for Gehenna.
Oh yeah,
ahead, right?
I mean, you're coming from one side now. You hear the Trailblazers and Guiding Light, so you know one's there, and you saw Selig, I believe, coming through A. So there's one and another. Gehenna get a flawless as well, so that's a big morale boost for them as they put one on the board.
Yes, absolutely. All right, an important moment. I was really afraid we were going to have some sort of blowout. I mean, if they won those first 3 rounds, and then you have to start doing save rounds again, except Hyperreal keeps buying Ares, and it like just never has armor, and you know things spiral. Then.
Oh, I mean, he's still sitting on that half armor, right? Not upgrading because of the economy. Now trying to stabilize it across the team. Now, generally, Hyperreal is, of course, playing a bit further back, setting up stars and nebulas for his team, so it's not the end of the world, but it does go to show the risks that Gehenna are taking.
Oh, totally. Now, they're playing this one a little bit slowly. Looks like they're kind of poking out through those mid windows. Don't get anything done there. Shooting out the Guiding Light through the smoke. Felix going to send the Owl through the doors.
Oh, spotted both. So they know that they're setting up. They're still taking it slow here in mid. Which means GOMA Gaming, I mean, they're in no rush, right? They've got the Killjoy set up on A. Omen's got C. I mean, he can buy as much time as they need.
Yeah, no, it's looking completely fine. Gehenna looks like they want to clear garage, trying to see if anyone's up in that window. They do gun down the Trailblazer that sees their plan. So it looks like a rotation now towards A. Now that is where Killjoy is completely set up for GOMA.
Yeah, and now they heard the Guiding Light. So Sky rotating over here for GOMA Gaming as well. They should be pretty well prepared. Yep, they check C-Long as well. Now the whole team of GOMA Gaming coming through. Supply alone, but gets one, isn't able to get the second. As Pod's left alone on the site.
Just a trade there. Now Pod's waiting. Oh, Agnes very quickly pops up and gets the kill there. Selig trying to get something done. Tailwinds into some more bullets.
And the Seekers come out aggressively, holding back Nez. Nez puts up a dark cover, but he's all alone. 1v2 though. Decide down to 6 health. I mean, if Nez breathes on him, he's gonna go down.
It's possible for Nez here. All right, gets one. Needs one more. Can he take down Hyperreal?
Oh, he's
on the wrong way. Yeah, gets picked off by that beautiful Ares. And gonna trade it for a different gun.
This was his big plan all along. I mean, you know, invest in the Ares, trade it for a better gun. You keep trading up, you can't lose.
Oh yeah. Where do you go next? Where do you? He's gonna trade for the next Odin he sees for sure.
There you go. It's really just building up towards the Odin, the final weapon of Valorant.
Totally.
Well, Hyperreal with that now has his Cosmic Divide. So see if they want to use that. I mean, they are on offense, so it's kind of, you know, up to them when they want to choose to use that, right? Hopefully setting something up. It could be used pretty interestingly on any of these sites, given how Haven's set up. I mean, you can block off so much.
Yeah, well, that's for sure, man. It blocks up more than anything I've ever seen. Looks like the Trailblazer going down, Boombot clearing through a short, but a rotation over towards, are we going towards those mid doors?
I think Gehenna, their most reliable thing so far is they always try to make some noise here. 2 are going to get spotted. I don't know if they commit to this.
Oh, okay, they're going to cut it up. Right kind of through everything here.
Yeah, but B, of course, if you cut it that way, I mean, there's just no coverage on the site. You can plant default and cover from window. Should be pretty easy. Selig going to go down after getting only 1 kill. Bangnan was waiting right across the wall. There's a Guiding Light, though. Decide not able to get his weapon out in time. Pods will get one as Felix now down to a 1v1.
Oh, man, with the spike over there in B, Felix, he's sitting here on the Sheriff, but he does have his Hunter's Fury, right? So, I don't know. This could really go either way. Let's see if Hyperreal can pull it out for his team.
Oh, Hyperreal gets tagged real bad. No shock bolts left, though.
Oh, comes around the side, and Hyperreal looking down the wrong angle there. Gets the kill.
Well done.
They go up 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Cosmic Divide, GOMA Gaming did not shy away from that. Pods using the Guiding Light to make sure they had some entry, of course, as the abilities can go through. Well played from GOMA Gaming, because that was supposed to be a pretty impactful ultimate coming out from Hyperreal. And there's the Odin, by the way, for Hyperreal.
Oh, is it? Oh, I love it. I love it. You gotta stay true to who you are, man. That's for sure.
Listen, I guess he's consistent at the very least.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they like to play like that. Like, I never see the Odin on this map, you know?
It's a weird choice. I mean, there's a couple angles, right, where you can get an advantage. I think it's because of how far to dissipate to try to bait something out. Agnes making a lot of noise.
And the paranoia coming through. Decide, gonna try to blind into C as they move forward. The wall going up in that garage window.
Decide needs to plant. They're still taking a lot of time. Gehenna now going to plant for Long and Cubby.
Oh. Hunter's Fury coming through, dealing some damage, not getting as many hits as maybe he was looking for. GOMA now coming onto site, throwing down a lot of smokes to try to get this done.
The gravity well's too far out.
Okay, well they do get the defuse.
Wow.
That was...
And then it's just bullets everywhere.
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Well, the defuse works in favor of GOMA Gaming as they put another one on the board. Gehenna, they seem, again, I don't know what reason you have to hesitate there. They're making some good entries, but they're always trying to clear the full site, but with the spike holder as well. You got to have some more trust in your teammates to cover for you as you try to set up some of these plants. So if they're just like half a second more decisive, I think they have some better chances here against GOMA Gaming. Wow. The gravity well just to keep them locked in.
Well, it looks like they're all going towards those mid doors right now.
Once again, I mean, Gehenna,
nice shot on Nez.
All right, the Trailblazer leading the way. Agnes puts the wall on the window. Now they're already committed. The spike is here. All 5 members for Gehenna in C, but Felix gets one.
Ooh, yeah, Felix does pretty well there, taking down 2 before he goes, but great usage of that defense. Now, oh, the AWP gets the kill there from Selig, but gets picked off by Hyperreal and his Ares.
Hyperreal and the Ares. I mean, this is a duo made in heaven apparently for Gehenna.
The Ares is the god of war, right? So, there you go. How can you have a better gun than that? All right, Seeker's coming out. Pod's shooting it down. Pod's the last one left. It's a 2 versus 1. All right, does get 1 kill. Oh, turns around though, and Hyperreal with his 3rd kill cleans him up.
All right, we got to stop doubting him and his Ares, man. I mean, he's the one trying to put some
numbers
on the board.
He's the one getting kills. Totally.
He's making things happen. He does always trade it out for the Vandal, and so far from what we've seen, I don't know if that's worth it anymore for him. I mean, his performance is a bit better with the Ares, but full rifles here for Gehenna. Now, on the side of GOMA Gaming, Felix a bit behind in the economy, so just with a Sheriff, but everyone else will have rifles, half armor for supply. So things are, they're kind of mixed up here for GOMA Gaming. We also have the Showstopper from Bagnan on offense for Gehenna.
They're going to try to clear out this A short, pushing forward now. They are very serious about this, coming up from both directions. Trailblazer goes out, gets gunned down very quickly. Dual smokes. Smokes absolutely everywhere. Pods comes around after the blind, gets the kill right there, but Gehenna cleaning up Pods, Selig, and Nez.
Yeah, using all of that chaos to their advantage as they break through, and they needed that timing because already on the side of GOMA Gaming, they had checked C long and they rotated very quickly, but not quick enough. Now the Sage Wall blocking off a link here as well, so now they just have to really watch out for Heaven. Now the wall's broken. We've got a close score. Oh, Moose looking at Heaven, isn't able to get the kill, but Decide is there to cover for him. Gets a trade. Now 3v1 in favor of Gehenna, and we are going to see that save from Supply. I mean, their economy was already kind of in a rough spot, so you don't want to take any bigger risks here. Supply just going to camp out, probably in Covey here and see. Yep. Oh, no, he's going to go all the way around, see if he can maybe get a pick as they come out through spawn.
That would be impressive if he gets one here. He might, yeah.
Not playing it safe. All right, I respect that. It wouldn't really be worth it, the half armor trying to challenge them.
Yeah, no, he went about as far away as he could possibly get, but good save. I mean, you're not going to be able to infiltrate there 1-on-3 with a Killjoy. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just take the losses, right, and stop the bleeding a little bit. Still keep that Phantom for yourself. Of course, the rest of the team, I mean, they had to invest kind of everything last round. So GOMA Gaming not going to have much. We have the Marshall for Selig.
Yeah, let's see where he sets up. Looks like it's probably going to be A long for that Marshall. A lot of Sheriffs otherwise. Supply, of course, having saved. The Odin for Hyperreal once again. All right. Let's see what we get done.
Good aggressive gravity well, just making sure they don't get picked off in A long. And that is going to send him all the way back. Another full commitment. And this time GOMA Gaming not hesitating.
They're going to throw the paint shells up there. See if they get that damage on Pods. Runs into the smoke and gets gunned down by Bangnan, who also takes down Selig. Decide pops in and takes down Nez.
Yep, they are going to get spotted by the recon bolt, but it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Plant, and they are in a dominating position. Only Supply left again, going once again to save.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Gehenna, they're starting to pull something together here.
Yeah, well, I mean, as soon as they are decisive, right? They go in, they get the kills, and then they plant rather than trying to, you know, make sure we clear heaven and go all the way through a link. It's starting to work out a little better for them. I mean, I think they're also aware now of the fact that if everyone on both sides uses their utility, you know, they can use that chaos to their advantage, especially if there's no one in heaven, right, to cover over all of those smokes.
Totally.
So Gehenna using what they've learned so far in the previous rounds to their advantage. They're just kind of slowly
they're kind of hunting right now. Doesn't look like they're going to find him, hiding back in that C area.
All right, well, 5-4, finally a lead for Gehenna. It's been a long time since we've seen that. We didn't see it at all in the after the beginning of map 1, right after the pistol round. So them having a lead, you got to feel a bit better about that. But you are in Haven, you're on attack. You want to close this out, you know, at least 7-5, right? You want to have some of that margin before you switch over to defense. So we'll see what they can make happen. Their economy is very healthy. Obviously, they've kept their guns. They're continuing to stack up. Now, GOMA Gaming actually getting a bit antsy. They're continuing to buy rifles as soon as they can. Selig, of course, is okay with the Blade Storm.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a shorty as backup right there. All right, looks like they're going to go ahead, clear garage very, very quickly. They do have the smoke down in that window. Going through that C-link. Supply in a very strong position. Selig getting the kill immediately upon Decide with the Blade Storm. Does have to back up. Supply gunning down Bangnan as he comes in. Hyperreal as well. Oh my god, Supply killing everyone! And 4 kills!
My goodness!
Just dominates up there. That's some highlight reel stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, Supply was just ready for him up above, sitting on, you know, the lumber there, and Gehenna, they get slowed down by one, you know, just by the alarm bot a little bit, and they're not able to break through on their own nebula because of that. A little bit of chaos amongst their own smoke doesn't work out well for them. I mean, just watch this again. Supply gets one, and then he's just ready for everybody. Spots Hyperreal coming out of the dark cover, and then his peaks are just on point.
Everyone one by one's like, I'll take him. No, I'll take him. No, I'll take him. No, none of you are going to take him. Some gunning here. Pods behind the nebula. Oh, look at that. All right. Felix just randomly taken down to side.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to use that Cosmic Divide now. Let's see if that works out for them here.
You got to get the plant earlier this time. All right, they go for it, but Selig's ready, and Hyperreal not able to cover for his teammate in time.
No, I guess not. Kind of painful right there. Seekers coming out as well as the lockdown. Everyone just spamming what they have.
Oh my, and Nez is ready.
Ooh, beautifully done by Nez. Pops down, 3 kills in all. And that was a clean round from GOMA.
Oh, Gehenna. I mean, once again, if you're not able to get some wins off of the back of your ultimates, that is painful.
Yeah. What do you think about how they like to use Cosmic Divide? That's twice now that they've tried that B plant.
I mean, I think the B plant with the Cosmic Divide is perhaps the most obvious way to use it, right? It's the easiest to just block off the 2 entryways. But I think they need to use some of their other utility to guard for the person who's planting. I mean, that's a pretty quick plant you can get, but Gehenna is kind of leaving it up to their own devices here for whoever goes into plant.
All right, looks like a big rush down A right now. Throwing out the Seekers. There's an alarm bot right there. Does get set off. Supply just kind of shooting into the smoke. Takes a little bit of damage himself. Backs up for now. We take over the site. Nebula coming down.
right, well, Gehenna does break through. There's the Sage Wall, should give them enough time.
Buys a little bit, but they shoot through relatively quickly here. Get that plant down.
Oh, that was really dangerous. Supply knew exactly where he was planting that spike.
Oh my god. All right, 4 versus 4 right now. Let's see what they get done. Agnes takes down Selig as he tries to come in. Nez coming around the corner, trying to peek, trying to get those kills.
Oh, but the crossfire coming in from Gehenna. They're able to get one again. So far, they're the most successful on A, partly because of the chaos that comes through, and as that wraps up the half, I mean, they did all right. You know, they're in the lead, but the ones they lost, they just, you know, GOMA Gaming had a read on them. They looked a little bit confused as they were entering the site. 6-6 actually, so a bit rough for Gehenna. I mean, if you're on attack on Haven, you want to have the lead by the half.
Yeah. Well, it's tied up, so I mean already they have twice as many round wins as they had in the whole last map. Let's see how they can do on the defense here. I feel like GOMA is still looking better, but at least Gehenna is starting to put up a fight.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we talked about this coming into this map, though, right? Where we said on attack, maybe Gehenna uses just the full chaos, full send into a site, right? Hyper aggression to their advantage, and
that was working for him.
Those were the times that worked for him. And I think at this point, I mean, no matter what kind of, you know, other things you want to try to show off or other plays you want to try, you got to rely on what works just to get to that third map, right? You have to say, okay, chaos is to our advantage here. GOMA Gaming not well adjusted to that type of aggression. But trying that on defense on Haven's a little bit risky. Again, with the 3 sites, you commit, you know, to one site or 2, and the other one's wide open. Not much of a chance to cover all 3.
Very true there. Now we are during that tactical timeout, but just about ready to get into it now, guys. It's going to be attacking here for GOMA. See what they can get done. Picking up a Ghost and a Frenzy.
Yeah, Supply choosing to go for the double nano swarms just to help clear out some spots, and Agnes on the side of defense going for the wall. Should buy them some time if she can get on the right site here.
Now Gehenna, like, look at this. They have 3 guarding A, but actually everyone's moving up through Garage and C long. C is completely empty. There's like a trap wire in the back, and that is it.
That is so odd that you have the trap wire in Garage window, then you have the camera on the double doors, and then you have a trap wire in the back of C trying to cover for anyone rotating back, but they're probably going to plant before they do that. So wide open, as you mentioned, the nano swarms in place as well. Spike planted in default.
And look at this. We're actually going to have a fight back here.
Man.
In like almost attacker spawn. Like everyone just meet there and fight. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, Selig's still in the site as well. This is really smart. The rest of the teammates were spotted back. Gehenna's actually going to break through and see long, so now we've kind of swapped sides. As Supply goes down. Decided Hyperreal very low, though.
Ooh,
gets one.
This gets taken down.
And Pods picks it up for 3rd kill on the board. And GOMA Gaming are going to start the half with a win.
Yeah, important one right there. Definitely outmaneuvering Gehenna a bit. Gehenna really concentrating their defense at A short, at A long. And I mean, that is the most common plant site just overall. But definitely did not work for them. Now, this is kind of funny. Look where they're moving to right now. Over towards C. Maybe they've found that, like, oh, these guys, like, don't defend C very much.
Yeah, I mean, they left it wide open. Of course, GOMA Gaming also has the gun advantage, so I think just kind of relying on that, as long as you don't get picked off on that first peek there, you should have a pretty safe time entering. Of course, they are able to with all their utility. Selig just going right above those crates as well. Now holding a close angle with the judge. Supply.
Oh, I love it.
Gosh.
Holding attacker spawn there and getting them as they come out A for that rotation.
We're seeing this more and more as Haven gets played really around the world, and you know, having someone just left behind because there's so many different ways you can attack or retake even on Haven, right? So
yeah.
Holding that attacker spawn works out. Agnes not able to get that hit with the shorty, and that's a flawless for GOMA Gaming.
Yeah, they really destroyed them there. I think that was a great move, like you mentioned, right? Like, people are always flanking like that. A lot of people do take those forward positions in A, so it's much quicker to go through that back. But when you're fighting back near attacker spawn while the spike is already planted, and they know that you were coming that way, like you don't have many chances to pick up that round, unfortunately.
Well, Gehenna, this is your chance to try to even things out once again. You have the rifles, except for Hyperreal again. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Slightly mismanaging his economy, not in line with the rest of the team.
He likes some off guns, you know? It's kind of interesting. He's playing very differently from the rest of his team, that's for sure.
Yeah, but they do have the advantage, right? Because Selig decided to go for the Judge earlier instead of the Spectre. So in terms of range, GOMA Gaming has to have some good setups to get into these sites. And because of that, they're choosing B.
Right, he's going to be the one to move forward with that spike. Let's see if it works out. Oh my god, takes down Hyperreal as he enters the Cloud Burst. Hyperreal maybe overextending.
Yeah,
the Judge, that's exactly what you want.
Oh my gosh, and he gets 3.
Oh.
And
did you doubt the Judge?
Oh my gosh.
Kills 3 with the Judge, picks up the Vandal, and gets the 4th. Selig.
Listen, I know we've had a lot of good Judge moments here in Korea, but that was one that I should not have panned out that way. I mean, GOMA Gaming, I mean, Hyperreal, I mean, he was banking on making a cheeky play, but I really think Hyperreal's trying a bit too hard to try to make something happen on his own, right? Getting a little desperate just to get some wins on the board for his team. And when you have an Astra, I mean, there's so much more you can do as a 5-man squad. And Gehenna taking just a bit of time, right? Right now you have the Sheriff round. Just kind of let it pass, do the damage you can, and focus on the next one.
Well, Agnes right now trying to hold on to C as they do infiltrate, throws down those slow orbs and everything. Oh my god, we just got smokes absolutely everywhere. The Cyber Cage as well, shooting through the smokes right now. Looks like Nez gonna jump inside.
Trailblazer spots him.
Comes out, but does get Hyperreal.
Pods finally with the finish off moves as Nez trying to hold against the garage here. It is a 2v2.
All right, Seekers coming out as they go through that C connector.
And the Guiding Light just to push them out and decide pushes through. Bangnan to finish it off with a Sheriff.
All right. Very solid there with the blinds and everything.
I mean, hey, you had the Sheriff round. If you get that win, that's worth it, right? You take out all the guns on the side of GOMA Gaming. You did the damage you needed to. Now you can purchase your own rifles and kind of bring it back to square one. GOMA Gaming, of course, they were healthy in their economy with the earlier win. So it's now an even round. Selig choosing that Judge because he has the Blade Storm in his pocket. We'll see if he uses that kind of initially proactively or kind of reactively depending on how the site goes. I mean, Moo stayed alive long enough there just to wait for that one pick, which made a big difference for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Selig has procced that ult, so has the Blade Storm sitting up there in the mid windows. Gonna back out of there for now. We have some crossfire set up between A short and A long here from Gehenna. Waiting to see if anyone comes into this area. Selig guarding it with the Blade Storm.
Yep, just gonna hold that, wait to see if...
Ooh, they might walk into this trap.
Yeah,
Seems like they're kind of waiting to see. Okay, they're sending in that Owl, and that is so important. If they hadn't done this, things could have gone really wrong.
Yeah, and I like the kind of proactive Nebula just to make sure they're not following right in suit on the Owl. Supply now in a duel, though, gets taken down by Bangnan. Selig gets taken down as well. Not able to clear it.
Oof.
Oh, and there is Hyperreal.
I love it. Hyperreal finishes him off with the Odin.
Hyperreal. What I think is hilarious is he's like laughing on his own in that camera while everyone else is still trying to prepare for the next round, and he's like, ha 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 ha, ha with the Odin just on his own.
I tell you, the best esport games are both like art and science, but I do feel like Hyperreal is a little bit too much art and just not enough science. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's definitely the art category.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
The way he's playing is definitely off the cuff.
Well, the Guiding Light over the wall just to try to get some confirmation on A.
I haven't really decided yet. The Owl drone gonna check out A long here. Selig following behind.
Yeah, I think that Guiding Light was so high that it tagged moves as it popped, or he might have tagged it right at the entryway from A long, but
might have.
They're just going to leave the 2 members here on A long. Just make sure that they have some information. Not ready to strike yet, I like that GOMA Gaming's playing this a little slower after all the chaos that's been happening.
Looks like they do find someone in garage there with that guiding light. Ah, and they do bring the spike over towards A. So, I mean, Cypher is going to be able to get eyes on them, but it's not, like, defended, right? A couple trap wires in the cam are not going to stop this team from infiltrating.
Oh, no. Nez goes in with the spike. If he goes down in heaven, he doesn't. He makes it out alive, but eventually gets taken down by Hyperreal. Spike is down, gets recovered.
Ooh, Hyperreal waiting here with that Odin, trying to get that sharp angle.
That's scary, man.
Good tag goes down by moves.
Oh, the showstopper connects right at the entry point. Pods goes down. Decide gets one on the drop.
And they've cleaned it pretty well so far here.
They do have to wait for the lock. The lockdown gets two. Bangdan's still able to get his weapon out, though.
Unable to do so much despite that.
The Nanoswarm is what. There's so much utility being used.
Seriously.
Oh, and the Hunter's Fury is ready as well, buying them even more time. Oh, he starts, though. The Hunter's Fury was already hunting for other kills, and Moves is able to start that defuse earlier than expected.
Hey.
Gehenna will secure the win.
Solid call from Moves to just get it going, right? You only have one left. It's not going to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, after you dodge the first two, and the last one's kind of hunting for other kills, goes for the defuse, and Gehenna now tied up 9-9. Listen, after the first map, this map has just been utter chaos, but in favor of Gehenna. This is working out very well. I hate to say it because oftentimes if we say something like that, we want to back it up with some, analysis of like, well, it's working very well because Gehenna is doing, A, B, and C, and they have a backup plan in D. But right now, it's just they're just throwing paint at the wall, and it's painting a picture for them.
That's true. It's true. Well, that's modern art for you.
There you go, Hyperreal, the true artist of Valorant here.
Well, unfortunately, Moves and Supply already died.
Oh my god.
Not even really sure what went down there, to be honest. Looks like C long kill.
Yeah, just like dueling against each other, getting trades. Agnes is going to be waiting for Nez right above on that lumber. You can't forget about that spot sometimes.
GOMA made a mistake here, pushing a little bit too much. Selig in the middle here in B, kind of a funny position for him. Can catch rotations though. Bangdan coming around the side, gets gunned down. Cloudburst, so he can move. Checking the other side, and Selig takes down Hyperreal as well. Comes through, but Decide will finally put an end to him.
Yeah, almost had three. Wasn't able to get the headshot, but still a lot of damage down to his side. Of course, Decide can't heal himself as the Sky, so going to be sticking there. Of course, Agnes, though, the Sage coming in with the heal. Decide drops down.
Now versus Pods, but Pods gets the victory there. And finally, GOMA going to take another round, going up 10-9. It's a nail biter.
Okay. All right, this is going pretty back and forth. But again, I mean, GOMA Gaming, even though, there were some losses on the side of C that time, you play it a little patient, and then Gehenna starts to get a little curious, right? I mean, Gehenna's not able to really just sit in one spot and wait everything out. They want to get into these fights. I mean, Selig was huge, though, picking down two and be on his own.
Well, it's kind of a funny place to even be standing, right? But if you do it just right, it's surprising. You have a really wide view of where people can be at as well.
Oh, Gehenna's shoving up A long. Selig makes it through, tries to dodge with the tailwind, but not enough time to get his weapon back up.
All right, gets gunned down by Felix, though. Decide taking the sharp angle, does try to get the blind.
Oh, no.
Wall banged. Well, I mean, if you're using like everything you have behind that tiny wall, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, after the guiding light, you could tell that he was just kind of thinking, well, what's my answer to that? Afterwards, like, do I run away with the blind? There wasn't much of a choice. So Decide gets gunned down behind the wall. However, GOMA Gaming, I like this play, right? Even though you get that wall bang, you're like, all right, just let's be patient again. Let's make sure we have the information we need. And in fact, they're actually going to rotate all the way to C after making all this noise on A.
Well, this is going to work out really well for them because only Cypher is anywhere nearby, and they've got kind of an interesting angle with their Killjoy there. Supply could catch people rotating over.
Yeah, I think the plan was that in case the Cypher wants to rotate back to A because they're fully baited, Supply's there ready for the kill. Not going to happen just yet, but once again, Gehenna leaving C site wide open. without any confirmation.
Throwing out the Seekers, that's going to give him a good idea of where everyone's at.
Okay, now 2 went through Garage, so they know at least one's there. 1 went through Defender Spawn as well.
And Supply right outside of that.
Supply's
now moves,
patient.
where are you going to go? Are you going to go through C Connector? Are you going to try to go down towards C Long? I don't think so. I think that's too far away. Oh, are they just going to do a save?
I think they're just going to go for a save.
Yeah,
I don't
looks
think
like
they feel confident enough. I mean, 3v4, they were spotted with the Seekers.
They got way outmaneuvered there, so it does make sense.
Yeah, and you have a Astra, a Sage, and a Cypher who are all excellent at defending, but
yeah, that's
not
true.
the best at entering a site on their own.
No, not so much. Can't really throw your trap wire at somebody to... Right?
Can you imagine if you threw it on an enemy and then it sticks to another enemy and they're like tethered together? Just like, ah.
I think of it like, you know, that weird thing that Batman throws that goes around the criminal's feet and makes them trip?
Oh, yeah.
There you
Just
go.
wraps around them.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge buff.
That would
You
be.
could make them fall and you're like guns facing the ground and you can't see anything. You're like, ah. They're press A and D to roll over, trying to get back up.
Oh, I love it, yeah. Let's make it a game like that where you can fall over.
Oh, man.
Lay prone, lay prone!
GOMA Gaming, once again, taking it a little slow. They don't want to run into all that chaos. Now, Gehenna, after that round loss, Bangnan and Decide are a bit low, right? They have the Spectre on their economy, Spectre and the Bulldog, but still full armor for them.
Agnes just waiting here outside the Nebula. Felix getting ready to scout with that owl. They've used this strategy so many times with exactly the same agents.
Yes.
Now, it feels like it's almost very predictable.
I
So
mean,
if GOMA runs into this and dies again, I mean...
oh, Bangnan decides to go for the paint shows, gets one with his gun.
Ooh, Bangnan
Oh,
being so
man.
valuable there. Hyper real from behind.
Spots him. The paint show is actually going to clean up that kill as well. So now it's 4v1. It's a hunt for Nez.
Yeah, good luck, Nez.
Oh, Nez gets one. He gets 2. But Bangnan is going to come around with the 4th kill on the board. And yeah, if you're going to play this far up as Gehenna, you have to wait for a moment like that. You can't just rush through. So really well played by them using the Trailblazer. And as soon as he thought he was going to turn in with his gun, but as soon as he gets confirmation there's more than like 2, he pulls out his paint shells.
Yeah, that kind of forced him out. He got the kill there immediately. Very well done. But they've done it so many times.
Yes.
This has been like one of their key plays. And in fact, that's why we're seeing some of these rotations to C work so well, because they're being so patient over an A short and A long.
Yeah, well, GOMA Gaming, using the updraft this time to scan things out. Doesn't spot anyone just yet. Clears out Bangnan's little corner there in A-Long as well.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I like it. But they're not there that time, so it's like, damn.
not
the one time we really check it.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. You get played by it 3 times. You're all right, we'll check for it this time. Well, not this anymore. We're not that foolish. It worked for us once. We're going to switch it up. And Gehenna actually having some actual coverage on C. I think he caught a glimpse of Nez coming up C long. I mean, GOMA Gaming's, they're still committed though. They're going to run all the way in the dark cover in the far back. The slow orb.
I love the slow orb. That is buying them so much time if they need to rotate. And well, that was surprising. Selig with the headshot there with the knives.
Oh man, makes a move with the shock bolt and then the knives kill.
Nez comes out, gets Bangnan, but Agnes with the punish. And now the rotation over to A. Way out of position right now is Gehenna.
Yeah, I mean, GOMA Gaming, you have to start playing like this every round against Gehenna because you know that they continue to rotate too early, right? They continue to commit as soon as they see more than one. So they're going to get the plant. However, Hyperreal does find one on the lurk, so it's down to a 3v3.
A lot better then.
Okay, the lockdown in favor of GOMA Gaming as Selig picks off one. Gehenna doesn't really have much of an option here.
Yeah, Selig hiding in that cloudburst, but as he comes out, gets shot from behind.
Oh, Hyperreal's been detained by the lockdown. Goes down to the 9.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, that's the cost of that risk, right? Because Selig was like, no one would already be deep in the site with the lockdown. Their Hyperreal's like, not me. Still pops out, gets the kill.
last place they would expect me to be.
Eventually still results in a loss. Now, GOMA Gaming on, match point for them, right?
Elimination point for Gehenna.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make something happen right now or they are out of the tournament.
I mean, Gehenna is just all over the place, honestly. And GOMA Gaming, the way to counter that is, of course, again, make some noise, force them to overreact, and then commit to a different site.
Well, they are pushing down through the mid, kind of a very different strat here from Gehenna. Very, very straightforward, but looks like they are going to withdraw a bit. It didn't work out, and they're pulling back, and I can appreciate that. Right, you take a little risk. No harm, no foul.
Yep. Oh, using the Hunter's Fury aggressively, because they had some confirmation in mid. Not able to get a kill, but
some decent damage.
Yeah, damage across the board.
Nez, though, getting very, very low here.
Is going to be healed up by the Sky, and now looks like it's going to be an entry into C. Recon Bolt.
Spy getting that kill as Agnes comes around the crate. Cleaning up quite a bit.
Felix is deep into the... Oh, I think his gun might have been spotted there. Yeah, Bangnan. Just waiting for it to clear. Gets the kill.
And that is going to be that. Gehenna going to be eliminated. A much closer round.